Hello and welcome back to Helldivers 2. With our latest update, we have a new Warbond, and that is the Masters of Ceremony. It is effectively one big, not even really big, a Warbond themed around parade armor. So, let's get into it with our first thing, the booster, which is the sample scanner. It gives a 15% chance on sample pickup to give you 2 samples. It's okay. It's nothing overly special. If you're new to the game and you're trying to catch up with everything, go for it. If you're someone who's been around for a while, it's not that useful. Our armor, first off, is the RE2310, well, 2310 Honorary Guard. It's medium armor with the Armored Epaulets perk, which just gives you a 50% chance of a limb not being crippled. It's not that great. Limb breaking is kind of a weird one because odds are, as a player, you're simply just going to say, whatever, I'm stimming anyways. But if you're going for just style, the armor's pretty cool looking. Nothing like just getting pummeled to death. But we have light armor, which is the RE1861 Parade Commander. It's just a light version. Looks cool, but it doesn't offer anything profound or noteworthy. In the end, the armors, there are better choices. Dear God, I can't hit with this thing. Which actually leads us to our next part of the Warbond, the new weapon, the R2 Amendment. The Amendment is okay. It's a semi-auto marksman rifle, 20-round magazine, tied for damage with the Diligence counter snipers at 200, but it's still beat by the Deadeye. It has light armor pen, and the highest rate of fire in the category. You can fire more or less as fast as you can pull the trigger. It is semi-auto, and I believe burst, yes. Burst is acceptable. It's not the greatest. And starting with this review and going forward, we're having a new bit, which is currently this only has a scope for weapon modding. Yes, if you haven't gotten onto the new update, weapon mods are now a thing. The weapon modding itself, pretty cool. But this rifle, it's a bit rough. It could be better, but it also could be a lot worse. I mean, you can actually use this in groups, as opposed to something like I believe it was the Constitution, the bolt-action rifle that doesn't benefit anybody. 5 shots doesn't get you very far. Our next weapon, I used it a moment ago, the CQC-2 Saber. It's a sword. It is statistically identical to every other, well, not every other, to the CQC, I believe it's I can't remember the CQC actually, it's the combat hatchet, the one you bought in the superstore. Everything about it is the same. Push force, attack speed, it's a reskin. It's usable. I mean, all melee weapons are usable. You just have to take the riot shield, and they can actually work pretty well. But they definitely have a use case, and it's hard to sometimes find that. You need the riot shield. You need not this Warbond's armor. You actually need other armor to properly deal with it. Okay, we're all grenading that. But with that done, we have our grenade, the G142 Pyrotech. Medium armor pen, only 50 damage because how it functions is a bit weird. If we can get a position where a grenade is actually useful, you can see it in action, but I have enough. You start with 6. I'll throw one, you can see how they work. Or you won't see that one because of all the stuff covering it. But you throw it, it spins, it sparkles, it deals continuous damage during that, and then explodes. Someone really needs to deal with that.
Requesting sentry.
The grenade is okay. That's all I can really say about it. It's not the best, it is not the worst. It is very niche. For instance, throwing it in an open space, terrible. But if you can bait enemies into an alleyway, you actually have a really good chance of winning. Or at least killing the enemy, because, like I said, that spin is continuous damage. So you bait them in, they stand there for a moment, just burning out, and then you can actually chew through flesh mobs, the new big enemy here for the Illuminate, almost instantly, or at least within a grenade. Sometimes they can survive, but they're going to be very beat up. Overseers get dropped pretty quickly with it. Some people say you can take down a harvester. I haven't tried it. Mostly because I think you'd have to hit a leg and have it standing there for the longest time. And I think that's a bit of a risk. But it's okay. I'm not really using it outside of like this video. I just use a standard incendiary impact. Has better radius. You can actually kind of just whip it wherever and not have to be as concerned. But our last weapon for the Warbond is the One True Flag. This bad boy that we got right here. What does it do? It's a spear. That's it. It is statistically identical to the stun lance, but without the stun effect. It takes up a whole stratagem slot. I have issues with it. I think it's cool, but I think as a stratagem, it needs to offer more. If this was just a standard weapon, sure, I wouldn't care. At that point, it's a meme weapon, and I'm all for meme weapons. But when it is something more than that, it's a steep ask. It's tough to look at this and tell people, yeah, first off, you will be paying for this weapon, and this is also a stratagem. what it really needs is you can plant the spear. I will show you once we fight through these guys quick. You can drop it. And it's a flag. I think it's cool, but it should provide a buff to allies around it. What I would like to see is a multitude of buffs. I think it should give Democracy Protects to allies within a radius around it. I think it should also give a reload speed, a handling boost, and probably that would be about it, to be fair. Because then at that point, it incentivizes players to kind of rally around it. And then we can have the big, like, Space Marine rally around the standard moment everybody's been wanting. Otherwise, it's a spear. You know, you kind of waste your time with a spear that does nothing that the stun lance can't do. And even though it looks longer, people have argued like, oh, it has better reach. It doesn't. It is just the stun lance with a banner on it.
Calling down a sentry.
And it's not just me saying it, this is other people have fact-checked this and done all the tests on it.
Calling in reinforcements.
This Warbond doesn't have any vehicle skins, so it's pretty thin, if we're being honest. It does have some emotes and stuff, but nobody really cares. They're just kind of extra stuff. Same as the calling cards and all that. They're just extra things that are neat to look at, but not necessary. But this Warbond is not the cheapest. It comes in at 641 medals. It's on the cheaper end. Still beat out by Freedom's Flame, which now sits at 569 due to an FRV skin that got added for 55 medals. It is not a Warbond, realistically, I would suggest new players get. I always see people asking, hey, what Warbond should I get? This is my first one. Definitely not this. This is all style, no substance. Trying to squeeze more, like, materials out of each run is cool, but a 15% chance isn't that great.
Calling down a sentry.
And odds are it's not going to get you very far. The rifle, it needs more attachments. That said, we are getting more attachments. Arrowhead said this is the start of the weapon modding system. And if you follow data mines, we know there's extra stuff that's already been found. People found stuff for plasma weapons, but plasma weapons haven't gotten any, like, magazine mods as of this recording.
Calling in reinforcements.
My biggest hang-up is the flag. I know Arrowhead likes to be kind of tongue-in-cheek with stuff, but I'll admit I was annoyed when people on the Discord had asked, hey, does the flag do anything? And people expressed disappointment when it was just a spear. And the devs like, what, you wanted it to do more? And it's like, yeah, if you're paying money, you kind of want it to do more.
Requesting orbital. Calling down a sentry.
It's definitely a rough Warbond.
Sentry.
I think it could have gone better. I think if they wanted to do this as like the year 1 anniversary like bonus Warbond, it would be received very well. But making it a standalone Warbond, especially coming with this big story element of Super Earth being invaded and everybody fighting it off, I think it's a bit of a rough sell. But I think that's realistically all I really have to say about it. Could have been better. Bit of a letdown. Stuff's cool, but it's not anything to write home about.
Feels good.
But with that, I will leave you with the rest of this mission to see how the rest of this performs.
Calling in orbital strike. Mag's empty. Reloading. Requesting sentry.
Additional reinforcement funding approved.
Calling in reinforcements.
Request approved. Reinforcements have been launched. You may proceed to extraction when ready.
Calling down a sentry.
Extraction shuttle inbound.
Mag's empty. Calling down supply. Calling down a sentry. Requesting fortification. Oh no!
ETA T-minus 1 minute 30 seconds. Firing orbital barrage. Clear the area.
Extraction complete. Pelican 1 begins.
And that is all for now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.